Welcome you all to the video lecture on signals and system. Today we are going to draw the signal u of t minus u of t minus 7 and u of t plus u of t plus 5. So first we need to know what is u of t. U of t is nothing but unit step signal. So we need to know the definition of unit step signal. So the unit step signal u of t is 1 for t greater than or equal to 0 and 0 for t less than 0. So once we have written the definition, we have to plot the diagram for the u of t signal. So since they have given t, take t in the x-axis, u of t in the y-axis. U of t value is 1 for t greater than or equal to 0. So for 0 to infinity, t greater than or equal to 0 means 0 to infinity. For 0 to infinity, the amplitude is 1. So the amplitude is 1. For t less than 0, that is minus infinity to 0, always the values is 0. Okay. So this is the diagram for u of t from the definition. So they have given 1 is the amplitude for t greater than or equal to 0. So 0 to infinity, the amplitude is 1. And then, so first signal we have u of t and u of t minus 7. So we can draw u of t minus 7. So whenever some value has been added or subtracted with the time t, then this operation is time shifting operation. So if it is time shifting operation, either we will get right shifted signal or left shifted signal. So whenever we have t minus of some value, we will be getting right shifted signal. Whenever we have t plus some value, then we will be getting left shifted signal. So how we will be applying this mathematical operation? Just for our easy way, we are equating t minus 7 to 0. So t is equal to 7. So whatever the value you have obtained here, t is equal to 7. Add with each and every instance of t. Okay. So t equal to 7. 7 plus 0 becomes 7. Infinity plus 7 becomes infinity. So here only the amplitude exists. For other values it is 0. So all other values will be 0. So this value 0 plus 7 becomes 7. Infinity plus 7 becomes infinity. The amplitude remains same. So whatever we have at 0 to infinity, now it has been shifted to 7 to infinity. So the amplitude is 1. So this is u of t minus 7. So once it is done, then the given question is u of t minus u of t minus 7. So what we have to do, just we have to subtract this signal from u of t. So how we will be drawing u of t minus u of t minus 7. Okay. So when we are going to subtract two signal, okay, so the common range between the two signal, or what is the least range, what is the highest range, all those things we have to consider. So here the t exists from 0 to infinity. First signal, the t exists from 0 to infinity. Second signal, the t exists from 7 to infinity. Okay. So when we compare both these values, right? So what are all the values we have? 0 we have. So from 0 we have to consider anyway. Why? Because this is the lowest range, and highest range of t is what? Infinity. So we have to consider from 0 to infinity. So first signal exists from 0 to infinity. Second signal exists from 7 to infinity. Compare the low values of t, high values of t. So whichever is very low, that I have to consider. When comparing 0 and 7, 0 is less value. I am considering that as a lowest range. And anyway, highest range is infinity in both the signals. So I am taking infinity. So for the new signal u of t minus u of t minus 7, I will be taking the range from 0 to infinity. So again, So 0 to infinity, here the value is 1, but it differs here. Okay, since we have split, right, in the second signal. 0 to 7 the value is 0, 7 to infinity the value is 1. So I am just taking up to 7 also as a 1 point. Okay, so here also, since we have second signal, the variation, here also I am considering up to 7. Okay, so what happens from 0 to 7? What is the amplitude at u of t? It is 1. From 0 to 7, what is the amplitude at u of t minus 5? It is 0. So 1 minus 0 I have to take. Why? Because I have u of t minus u of t minus 7. So here it is 1, here it is 0. So 1 minus 0 is nothing but 1. Okay. So in simple, I can write here u of t minus u of t minus 7. Okay. So for 0 to 7, t value, whenever it is 0 to 7, u of t value is 1, u of t value is 1, and u of t minus 7 value is 0. So u of t minus u of t minus 7 is 1 minus 0, which is nothing but 1. So for 0 to 7, the amplitude remains 1, like this. Okay. And then next we can consider about 7 to infinity. Okay, whenever t ranges from 7 to infinity, what happens? For 7 to infinity, again this value is 1, this value is 1. So u of t minus u of t minus 7 is, both the values are 1, so 1 minus 1, it is equal to 0. So for 7 to infinity, there is no amplitude, so it becomes 0. Okay, since it is continuous time signal, just connect these 2 points. That's all. So this is my diagram for u of t minus u of t minus 7. The value is 1, which exists from 0 to 7. Okay. So using this logic, we can draw the diagram for u of t plus u of t plus 5. So our question is, first question we have completed, second question is nothing but u of t plus u of t plus 5. So that we are going to do. So the second question is u of t plus u of t plus 5. Again using the same logic we can complete this also. What is u of t? U of t is 1 for 0 to infinity. What is u of t plus 5? Again it is time shifting operation. So if it is time shifting operation, whatever the functional value we have, t plus 5 equate it to 0. So t is equal to minus 5. So t equal to minus 5. So what happens? Whatever the value here, we have to add the value minus 5. So 0 plus minus 5 becomes minus 5. Infinity plus minus 5 becomes infinity. Okay, so now this signal 0 to infinity, now it has been left shifted as minus 5 to infinity. Amplitude anyway it remains same. So this is u of t plus 5. And given is u of t plus u of t plus 5. So what happens? We have to compare both the ranges of the signal. First signal u of t, what is the t range? It is from 0 to infinity. Second signal, it is u of t plus 5. What is the range of t? It is from minus 5 to infinity. Okay, so when you compare 0 and minus 5, what is the low range? It is minus 5. What is the high range? Anyway, it is infinity. So when you combine both the signal, I have to consider from minus 5 to infinity. So I'll be taking from minus 5 to infinity. Okay. So again, here the signal exists from minus 5 to infinity, but here it exists from 0 to infinity. So I'm considering middle value also. Okay. So when you compare both the signal, when t value ranges from minus 5 to 0, what is u of t? Any signal it is there, minus 5 to 0, there is nothing. So the value amplitude is 0. What about u of t plus 5? The value exists, right? So here the amplitude is 1, u of t plus 5. So minus 5 to 0, the amplitude is 1. So we have like this. Okay. So when you add both the values, u of t plus u of t plus 5, 0 plus 1 becomes 1. So it becomes 1. Suppose if it is range is from 0 to infinity. When t range varies from 0 to infinity. What is u of t? 0 to infinity, the value is 1. What is u of t plus 5? Again, that value is also 1. So, u of t plus u of t plus 5 is nothing but 1 plus 1, the value is 2. Okay. So, for 0 to infinity, the amplitude is 2. It is not 1, it is 2. So, let me take 2 here. So, from 0 to infinity, we will be having the diagram like this. Okay. So, for minus 5 to 0, the amplitude is 1. 0 to infinity, the amplitude is 2. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for watching.